Hello and welcome to the Women's Inspire Network show, and I am so excited to have today with us Lynne and Martina from Pepper Hustle.
Yay! Thanks for having us, Sam.
I'm so happy to have you girls here.
We're so happy to be here.
You couldn't miss them coming in the door because all I heard was giggles, and I went, okay, that's the girls.
They're here, they're in the house.
You're in the house, and I'm so happy you're in the house. So first of all, for viewers who might not know you, tell us, what is Pepper Hustle?
Pepper Hustle is an online community of women who are looking to help themselves feel better through the power of nutrition, the power of movement, and the power of mindset. So positivity, being kind to yourself. It's a group of ladies who are out to support each other, who participate in our programs, which is showing people how quick you can get your workout out of the road. It doesn't have to be hours of exercise. You don't have to be any Jamie Oliver in the kitchen, and you certainly don't have to be any kind of master in the mindset in order to feel good and help yourself feel better.
And we really just want to show women that by making very small changes that you can consistently improve your life.
Yeah. Well, I have to confess, everybody, I have actually done the 21 day program because I wanted to see what it was like, and I have to say, even for me who hates exercise and definitely didn't think I would do it on my own, I did it. I can't believe I did it.
You did? Yeah. I'm the exact same. Even when I started working with Lynne first, I'd never exercised at home, and we were well into our partnership, and I'd still not exercised at home, and I felt a little bit nervous telling her, I don't know if I could do this exercise from home. But once I started it, it's actually quite addictive, isn't it?
It is. And you kind of go, oh God, I have to go and put a picture on Facebook now. Yeah. I haven't done it, I better do it now. I remember I did it at 10 o'clock at night one time because just to get it done. Just to do it. And it's quite simple because you have the pyramid, you go down, you do 10, then you do 9. And so anyway, it's really just, if you're watching and you would like to lose a bit of weight and you would like to eat better and be healthier and stuff, definitely do check it out because I started cooking and I don't cook at all.
And can I ask, did you count 1 calorie?
Did I what?
Did you count a calorie?
No.
Calorie counting. No crazy hours in the gym.
No, it's all about
consistency.
Yeah.
And you can fit it around your life and your family life as well. I know that they used to be slagging me at home, going, "Oh, here she is with her mat," into the living room, and my daughter would be watching her thing, and I'd be doing my exercise.
But that is, for some women, that is the difference between doing some exercise and doing no exercise. Because before I met Lynne, in my mind, I felt I needed at least an hour and a half to exercise. Because, I had to get myself to the gym or to a class and...
Babysitter.
Exactly. I was relying on my husband or somebody to watch my children, and probably 9 times out of 10 it didn't happen because I didn't have an hour and a half most days to do that.
True.
Whereas now I throw down the mat in my living room and I'm done in 20 minutes.
Exactly, and it's brilliant. And I love your energy, ladies, because I always say they're the Ant and Dec of the health industry, because it's like, which one is Lynne? Which one's Martina?
I'm
Martina.
So tell us a bit about yourself, Martina, and where you were before. Tell us a little bit about Martina first.
So I'm a mum of 3, and I suppose before I met Lynne, I just moved to where we're both living at the moment, which is Fenners, a very small little country village in County Waterford. And I'd given up work right around the time I had my 3rd child, so stay-at-home mum, very busy, but in a new area, didn't really know too many people, a little bit lonely. And my husband, who's an absolutely fabulous guy, very hands-on in our family, but he travelled an awful lot.
You're going to say he was very handsome. I was like,
he's very handsome. Very handsome.
Very hands-on, that's great.
Very handsome, but he was travelling a lot, and he had big into tag rugby, so he was kind of coming and going, and I just felt like I was so lonely, and I felt trapped, not only in my own head, but in my house. I couldn't even get out to go and socialise and make new friends or make a class. And I suppose at the time then as well, I was probably having the odd more glass of wine than I normally would. Then when I was drinking the wine, I was having crisps. I put on a bit of weight. I wasn't feeling good in myself. And I just remember one night it all kind of came to a head, and I was like, oh, I can't continue like this. I've got to have something for me. And so a mutual friend introduced me to Lynne, and went to her class, and like that one class I went to, it was a Pilates class, I think I started
Pilates.
And that was kind of the change of everything. And slowly I kind of felt myself kind of coming back to myself a little bit. And not only was I kind of getting out of my head and my, I was getting out of my house, then I started going to her Saturday class, and we started having coffee together on a Saturday morning. And all of a sudden I felt I had this little network.
Yeah, very important.
So exercise for me just kind of, I suppose, gave me everything back, It gave me some friends, it gave me like mental clarity, it gave me that feeling of feeling good in myself when I was doing something for myself, that I wasn't just mammy at home, all the time. So
yeah. And so, I know it's really important, because when I moved to Wexford, I didn't know anyone, and I found it really, and like he was still going playing golf, he was still doing this thing, and I was like, hang on a second, and and especially when the kids haven't started school as well, I think when they start school it gets a bit easier, because you meet people at the gates and stuff. But I totally get where you are, and I'm sure a lot of people watching would totally identify with that. And so you are the nutrition side of Pepper Hustle. So how did you get into that, or how did that happen?
So I suppose around the time I gave up work, one of the biggest concerns I had for my family was that I was not doing enough to put good, nutritious food on the table. And I'm sure there are probably a ton of working mothers watching this that would relate to that. Yeah. I used to drop my kids to creche at 7:45 in the morning, and I used to pick them up at 6:45 in the evening. And we get in the door, and it was like all hell would break loose. And what are we going to give them? And literally we were constantly pulling, ready-made meals out of the fridge or stuff out of the freezer, a lot of processed foods. So I suppose one of the biggest benefits of me giving up my job was that I actually had time to start focusing on what we were all eating as a family. And what I found, Sam, was that I'm actually quite good in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Amazing. She's not good. She's like amazing.
But I absolutely love it. And I love combining, for me, it's just really simple foods that I focus on. Kind of like how my mother would have cooked, like your basics. But then I love like fresh herbs and spices to kind of add that little a bit of extra to a meal. So
and that's what I found easy, was because you had the recipes, like you have your chicken or your fish or whatever, but it was like stuff that tasted nice.
Yes.
Whereas I'd be like, if I tried to cook that on my own, I wouldn't taste.
Oh my God, and I'm the worst cook in the world as well.
Yeah.
And so with Martina's recipes, suddenly I've become the best cook in the house.
And I made the strawberry oats last night overnight, and so your recipes are really, really easy to follow.
So what I try to do is give people things that they can do quickly, easily, and that can be replicated in a whole lot of different ways. So
and food that the whole family enjoys to eat.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Because I come from a country background, and whatever was put on the table is what you're going to eat. And I've kind of carried that along in my family. So the kids will absolutely eat at this point whatever I put in front of them.
Brilliant.
So we're always trying to come up with recipes that will work for everybody.
Yeah.
And that will kind of cut down on time. I'm a big fan of cutting corners, and if you can make a double batch, by all means make a double batch and have that freezer stash for the days where you are too busy to cook, because we're all busy people. And I'm not saying you have to cook every day, absolutely not, but it's to kind of
having everything in there that you need as well, like that store cupboard ingredients.
Store cupboard
and stuff
essentials are essential.
Are essential. Yes. And Lynne, you're the other side of Pepper Hustle, which is the fitness
the
side.
Hustle. So she's the Pepper and I'm the Hustle. And I'm originally from Derry in Northern Ireland, and then
love your accent.
Thank you. And then I spent 16 years living in Edinburgh, and I worked in Edinburgh as an IT consultant. And then I met a man, fell in love.
These men, they're responsible for a lot of geographicals, aren't
oh my
they?
Gosh, stop. Yes. I met a man, I fell in love, I got pregnant, and then my whole world flipped upside down and then splattered everywhere. I'll put it like that. So I gave up my work, and we moved back to Fenner, to the middle of nowhere. If anybody doesn't know where Fenner is,
we've got a
it's
church.
out in the sticks.
We've got a church.
Well, you're putting it on the map now.
We're putting it on the map. It's like we're making it hip hop happening.
Edinburgh to a church and school village.
Oh my God.
And then
so you're probably feeling a little bit like Martina.
Well, see, this is actually the magic of why it works for us, because When I arrived in Fenner, I didn't know anybody. I'm not from Waterford. It's where my husband was born and bred. But not only that, is that whenever we moved to Fenner, he had a job where he travelled the world. So we moved to Fenner and I was on my own.
Lynne moved to Fenner.
I was pregnant and I was working from home at the time, and so I wasn't getting out, I wasn't meeting anybody, I didn't know anybody.
Yeah, very isolating.
It was really isolating, and I felt really down in the dumps about it all because I just couldn't, like, you know, I'm quite a sociable person. I felt like when I was living in Edinburgh, I had got to the point where my circle was of the most beautiful women that I loved and cherished, and there wasn't a great deal in our circle, but they were really, really good people, like best friends. And then to leave it all behind, and then to try and make a new network, or to create a community around yourself. And I think when you're a bit older, it's harder to do, because maybe you're a little bit more fussy about the nonsense you put up with, or the types of people that kind of float your boat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what happened then was that I needed something to do for myself, because I was, I think, maybe going a little bit insane on my own with a newborn baby and no friends. Yeah. And I started to go to just local exercise classes, because I had always enjoyed fitness, but I had never, it was always kind of dip in and out of my life as and when I could fit it in, because I'd worked, a job that I would have worked maybe 60, 70 hours a week. And I loved it, but I was living, quite a wonderful life with it as well. And then I got back into exercise, and for me, it was my mental health saviour, and it was my hour in the week where I wasn't a mother, where I wasn't a wife, where I wasn't lonely.
Yes.
And for me, it created this feeling inside of me that I was somebody, that I was me. I was Lynne again, and not this person whose life was out of control, who didn't know what to do with herself. And so one class turned into two, turned into three, and because I had worked for myself before I moved to Fenner, I had wanted to do something, but it was going to be something that was just maybe like a stopgap in order for me to get back into the IT consultancy work that I had done previously. And there was this training course for fitness instructors, and I was like, I'm going to do it, just to do something. And then it turned out that it was the most wonderful risk I ever took, because I did the course, I passed with flying colours, I enjoyed every single moment of it, and then I realised that I was born to do this. Yeah. And it's not that I was born to be a fitness instructor, I feel like I was born to help people help themselves feel better. Mm-hmm. And when myself and Martina kind of got to know each other a little bit better, so prior to this, I had taken a risk and I had opened my own studio. I had thought, whatever, if you don't try something, you'll never know. Mm-hmm. So I kind of went a little bit gung-ho. I fast forwarded a few years in between, where there was a few kind of life events that took over. But coming back to whenever myself and Martina were having this conversation, we realised that our stories were very similar. Yeah. Her story is my story, is your story, is your sister's story, is your cousin's story, your best friend's story. And then we were like, if it's our story and it's your story and it's their story, we're all feeling the same. Yeah. But you know what? It means if we can feel this good, anybody can. Yeah. So then this is what happened. I had this dream of kind of setting up this online community and this online fitness offering for women who didn't have the confidence to leave their home, for women who didn't feel like they would be any good to kind of join a fitness class, for women who wanted to do something for themselves, but maybe their husband travelled with work, maybe they were on their own, maybe they had no family to help, with,
so
no support network.
The people that were like you,
yes,
really. And
this is the key. Yeah. We have been that person.
Yes, so you get
and
it.
We have worked on it, and we're not anything special.
No, we're very
We just know that if we can do this, anybody can, and this is what drives our passion, and that you don't need to be anything extraordinary, but you have the power within yourself to help yourself feel better. And together we have grown the most beautiful friendship. We have the most amazing community of women who were doubtful. Yeah. Would they be good enough? Could they feel better? Yeah. Well, the answer is yes.
Yeah, I've seen it.
You absolutely can.
And as you know, Sam,
I've seen it.
as women, we are the world's worst at putting ourselves at the very end of a long list. Like everybody and everything tends to come before ourselves and our needs. So we're trying to educate women that, okay, we know we're all time short most days. So, but like, don't forget yourself. Like, give yourself those, you know, half an hour, whatever, and allow yourself to feel good and kind of get the consistency, because then, you know, you will build to that.
And more importantly, tell yourself you can. Because if you tell yourself you can, you can. And that is with anything.
Well, I found seeing the other girls' pictures going up was very motivating for me, because there was one or two girls that I knew were struggling, and the next thing they did it. I did it. I was like, oh God,
They've
have to
done
do
it.
now.
I have to do it.
I better do mine now. But like, it's really, really cool. And I love, and you did say there that you're not something special, but I actually think you're very special.
Thank you,
because
Sam.
that is why you were sitting on my couch, because I feel your energy is just so strong.
Well, thank
you.
And you're special.
Yeah, seriously. And, you know, and I just felt like, even getting a comment off you, like, you're very engaged with your audience, which is really important, which I try and do at Women's Inspire Network, is to have an engaged audience. And you have that. It's brilliant. You have it in spades.
And what we have found as well, Sam, is that everybody, women, we just want to feel connection to somebody or something, and we have created this most beautiful community. And it's not just Lynne and I supporting the ladies, it's as you've seen yourself,
other members.
It's other members supporting other members and giving you that motivation on the day where you feel like, oh, I just couldn't be bothered, and then you see one little nugget in there and you go, no, I remember my why, this is why I'm doing it, these girls are doing it, I'm going to do it too. And the connections and the friendships that are flourishing in that group are just amazing.
It's lovely.
So
and it's lovely, and I love to see that as well. So so I just have a few other kind of fun questions for you, because this is about the humans.
We love a bit of fun.
This is about the humans behind the business. Okay, so I wanted to ask a few little kind of fun questions. So first of all, Martina, dog or cat?
Both.
Ooh.
Yeah, we have a little dog at the minute, but I do love cats as well.
Dog.
Dog. Yeah, I love dogs. They're just so adorable, and they just love you. Whereas cats are like, oh yeah, whatever. You know,
they're so independent, but they're so graceful as well. They're both beautiful.
Okay, and your favourite? What's the best advice you ever got, Martina?
Best advice in life?
Both, life or business, whichever.
I would say, learn to say no and stand by your nose.
That's a good one.
Because that is something that I have struggled with all my life, because I'm a pleaser. I hate to let anybody down, and
to the detriment of yourself.
Of myself, exactly. So I would be always saying yes, but you wear yourself out. So it's not that I'm a serial no-sayer now. I will certainly take things on board, but I have got a little bit better as I've got older at saying no to the things that do not fulfill my purpose in life as well, and to things that are not going to fill me with joy, you know. So
very good. I like that. That's a really good piece of advice. What about yourself, Lynne?
Mine would have to be, and it's a life and a business piece, and it is, don't sweat the small stuff. Because I have
Tell me a little bit about your illness or your health issue.
So that was a massive turning point for me.
Small stuff,
it wasn't small stuff, but it actually helped me to begin to not sweat the small stuff, because prior to that I would have been somebody, who would have teetered on the side of high anxiety a lot of the time, and then having to ground myself and realise the things that I'm stressing about and sweating about sometimes never come to fruition. I would create stories in my head. If I say no to this person, they're going to think that, and then this is going to happen. But that thing which was going to happen in my head rarely ever happened. And so a few years ago, when my little boy was 1, I had been running as a freelance fitness instructor and personal trainer. I was working crazy hours, and then something happened one evening, and I had an attack. I was rushed to hospital. I nearly died. And as it transpired, it turns out that if I hadn't have been as fit as I was, I would have died at that point. And then tests and quite a bit of time in hospital after that. we discovered that I have a hole in my heart. And I've had this hole in my heart since I was born. I've had a successful pregnancy and it was never picked up. But now I'm one of the percentile in the world who has this problem that it now causes issues and has a detrimental effect to my health. So I have to have an operation to fix it. But until I do that, until I pluck up the courage to have that operation, I'm managing it, and I'm managing it successfully. But there was one moment that kind of was a bit of a light bulb moment for me, and this is in terms of fitness, that it was that moment that I realised fitness isn't about a dress size. Forget about being a size 10, forget about being a size 8, 6, 12, whatever. If you're not well in yourself, it doesn't matter what you look like. If you're not physically well, and if you don't have the body that can fight illness, that can help you back from disease or whatever it is that happens to kind of call upon you, because you don't know when that's going to happen. You want to be fit, you want to be healthy because you want to be well. And when you're well, you feel good, you eat better, you move more, and then everything else falls into place. And so that was one of my drives then for opening my studio, was that I just wanted to spread this message that forget about size, forget about the scales, forget about everything. Exercise so you are well, because we're all about the abs, we're all about the legs, the biceps, but what's the most important muscle in your body is your heart. If your heart isn't working properly, like, forget it. And if you don't look after yourself, like, we gotta realize that this is our only vessel that we have to allow us to do the things, to live, to cook, to play with our children. And if we don't look after ourselves, if you feel crap within yourself, like, fix it, change it. Forget about the dress size and just focus on feeling well and having energy and being happy, because life is so short and it goes past like that. And if you don't make the change for yourself, nobody can do it for you. But if you make the change will happen.
Wonderful. And on that note, we would like to thank you for coming along today, because your message is really, if anyone is watching now and they feel a little bit sluggish, or they feel like they'd like to change something or get a bit fitter, you know, contact the girls. Pepperhustle.com.
Pepperhustle.com.
There's lots of free stuff there as well. There's a free trial there. There's lots of stuff. And you're going to be speaking at the Women's Inspire Conference.
We are. We're actually so excited about that.
And you're going to be bringing us all back to life after lunch.
Yes, absolutely.
So expect music, expect energy. It's going to be brilliant.
I think I'm busy at that time.
You will be.
I'll be on the stage.
Bring your runners.
God. But it's so lovely to meet you guys. And I really, really feel what you're doing is brilliant. And I really wish you all the success with Pepper Hustle. And thank you so much for joining us.
Sam, thank you very much for having us. Thank you so much.